Welcome back to Echoes of Ihsan. Today we're going to be doing another deep dive.
Yeah.
And this one was actually requested.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we're going to be looking at virtues of the Qur'an,
Okay.
and we're going to be using Sunan al Tirmidhi,
Great.
Volume 5. Um,
Sounds good.
and it's just a fascinating collection because it has hadiths that talk about, so many things that we can use to kind of implement and live by the Qur'an.
Yeah, I think it's really great how it interweaves faith and conduct and knowledge. It's really holistic.
Right from the start, it dives into that inseparable link between
Yeah.
faith and action.
Uh-huh.
And I was really struck by Hadith 2012,
Okay.
where complete faith is defined not just by belief, but by being best in conduct and kind to family. I mean, that's a powerful message.
Absolutely. It's not just something we keep inside, it's something we live out. We try to be the best versions of ourselves and be kind and compassionate to others.
It's like it has to be tangible.
Exactly.
It has to be experienced.
Yeah, and this emphasis on action is echoed throughout Sunan al Tirmidhi. For instance, Hadith 2620 and 2621 highlight the importance of prayer,
Okay.
stating that abandoning it is a sign of disbelief.
Right.
So prayer is one of the 5 pillars of Islam.
Yeah, it's not just ritual.
Exactly. It's a direct connection with the divine.
Yeah, and it makes me really think about how we approach prayer
Mm-hmm.
with sincerity and presence.
Absolutely. And it's about cultivating that inner connection, that feeling of khushu,
Right.
that deep humility and attentiveness in prayer, being fully present in that moment with Allah.
Speaking of khushu,
Yeah.
Hadith 2653 kind of paints a rather sobering picture. It talks about a time when you might enter a mosque full of people,
Mhm.
but finding no one praying with true khushu.
It's a powerful reminder.
Yeah.
Are we truly present? Are our hearts and minds focused on connecting with Allah, or are we just distracted?
Yeah, sometimes I find myself rushing through it or letting my mind wander.
Mm.
So it's a reminder to be more intentional and present.
Yeah. It's like the sweetness of faith described in Hadith 2623. This Hadith talks about feeling joy in having Allah as our Lord, Islam as our way of life,
Right.
Muhammad as our prophet. And, it's about that deep internal alignment, that
Mhm.
peace and contentment.
Yeah. It makes me think about how faith really should permeate every aspect of our lives,
Mm-hmm.
influence our thoughts and feelings and actions.
Precisely. And this authenticity of faith is contrasted with hypocrisy,
Okay.
which Sunan al Tirmidhi also talks about.
Right.
So Hadith 2631, for example, highlights lying, breaking promises, betraying trust as hallmarks of a hypocrite.
Yeah, that resonates with me a lot.
So it's about recognizing that our actions have to align with our words.
Right. Walking the walk.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Because when we betray that trust, we're really eroding the foundation of relationships, not just with others, but with Allah as well.
Yeah, it's a reminder to be mindful of how our actions impact others and to just strive for that integrity.
Now, shifting gears a bit,
Oh.
let's explore how Sunan al Tirmidhi emphasizes the importance of seeking and sharing knowledge.
Huh.
Hadith 2655, for example,
Mhm.
reminds us that acquiring knowledge for the sake of Allah is a highly commendable act.
And I think it's really interesting how it's positioned as something we should actively pursue, not passively receive.
Yeah, it's about recognizing that knowledge has a purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and that is to benefit others.
It's a gift.
Exactly. And this is highlighted in Hadith 2909,
Right.
which emphasizes the importance of conveying knowledge to others, even if it seems like a small act.
That reminds me of the Hadith 2666,
Okay.
where the Prophet encourages conveying knowledge, even if it reaches someone more knowledgeable.
It's a beautiful illustration. We should never stop seeking knowledge, and we should never hesitate to share what we know.
Yeah, I love that perspective.
Mm.
Even if you think you know something well, there's always more to learn.
Absolutely.
And there's always someone who can teach you something new.
Absolutely. And this act of sharing knowledge carries immense rewards. Okay,
Yep.
as highlighted in Hadith 2671,
Mm.
it reminds us that conveying even a single verse from the Qur'an to someone else
Right.
is an act that pleases Allah and earns us blessings.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
Mm.
Now, beyond these foundational principles of faith and action and knowledge, Sunan al Tirmidhi also delves into the etiquettes and manners
Ah.
that reflect the life guided by the Qur'an.
Right.
Hadith 2689, for example, illustrates beautifully the rewards associated with greeting others with salam.
I think what's striking about this hadith
Yeah.
is it goes beyond simply acknowledging the importance of greeting with salam. It talks about the increasing rewards we receive
Yeah.
for each additional phrase.
It's like an extra layer of
Right.
blessing.
Yeah, it's really about being present and intentional.
Right.
You know, it's interesting because while the hadith encourages elaborating on the salam, it also talks about certain practices that are disliked, like saying aksika salam when initiating the greeting. And
Right.
this is mentioned in Hadith 2721.
Okay.
But I think these seemingly minor details point to a broader principle of respect and mindfulness
Right.
in our interactions.
It's about making sure that our greetings are in line with the teachings.
Exactly.
And this importance of greeting with salam is further emphasized in Hadith 27:10, where a man enters upon the Prophet without offering salam.
Right.
And the Prophet highlights the importance of this etiquette.
So even in our everyday encounters, we should strive to embody Islamic values.
It's not just an empty ritual.
Right.
It's about cultivating that presence.
Now, moving to a topic that often sparks discussion.
Okay.
Sunan al Tirmidhi also addresses the issue of images.
Right.
Hadith 2806 shares a story of the angel Gabriel not entering the Prophet's house because of the presence of images and a dog.
That's powerful.
Yeah. And it underscores the Islamic prohibition on creating or displaying images of living beings,
Right.
especially in places of worship. And this stems from a concern about preventing idolatry.
So it's not that images themselves are evil, but it's about the potential for distraction or misinterpretation.
Exactly. It's about safeguarding the purity of our faith.
Now, this actually makes me think about Hadith 28851,
Okay.
which compares filling oneself with poetry to filling oneself with pus.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems a bit harsh at first glance, but maybe it's addressing a similar concern about distractions.
You're right. It's not about poetry itself being bad or forbidden. It's about recognizing that even beautiful things can become distractions
Right.
if we allow them to consume us.
So it's a call for balance.
Precisely.
Enjoy the beauty of creation, but keep our focus on Allah.
Absolutely.
Now, speaking of the Qur'an itself,
Yeah.
Sunan al Tirmidhi highlights the virtues of specific surahs. It mentions Surah al-Fatiha as the heart of the Qur'an,
Yes.
encompassing those fundamental principles of Islam. And this is detailed in the commentary for Hadith 281.
Yes. It's a testament to our submission to Allah and reliance on His guidance.
It's incredible how much power is packed into those few verses.
Right.
And then we have Hadith 2891,
Okay.
which speaks about Suwat Tabarak, Alladhi biyadihil mulk, interceding for forgiveness.
It offers us a glimpse into Allah's mercy, the
Yeah.
hope for forgiveness.
I've always found that surah to be incredibly moving. You know, it's filled with reminders of Allah's majesty and power.
Right.
And it fills you with this sense of hope and awe.
And it's as if certain surahs carry unique spiritual vibrations that
Yeah.
resonate with our hearts
Yeah.
in different ways.
And speaking of connecting with the divine, I was intrigued by Hadith 2892,
Okay.
which mentions the Prophet's practice of reciting Surah al-Fatiha and Surah Tabarak before sleep.
Beautiful practice.
Yeah.
Seeking Allah's protection,
Yeah.
blessings as we sleep.
It's like spiritual self-care.
And just as we seek His protection before we sleep,
Right.
Sunan al Tirmidhi also highlights the importance of seeking refuge in Allah throughout the day,
Okay.
particularly through reciting Al-Mu'awwidhatain, Surah 113 and 114, after every prayer. And this is mentioned in Hadith 2903.
Those surahs are so powerful.
They are.
They're like a shield against negativity.
Exactly. And they offer a powerful reminder that we're not alone in our struggles.
You know, all these hadiths about specific surahs really highlight the transformative power of the Qur'an. And Sunan al Tirmidhi also emphasizes those general rewards for reciting and memorizing the Qur'an.
Yeah.
What stands out to you?
Well, Hadith 2904 really stands out to me because it talks about the rewards for reciting the Qur'an,
Right.
especially for those who find it difficult,
Right.
and that they receive double the reward for their efforts. It's about acknowledging that
Yeah.
the path of righteousness isn't always easy.
Right. And Hadith 2914
Okay.
mentions attaining a rank in paradise based on the last ayah we recite.
It's a beautiful reminder.
Yeah,
Our relationship with the Qur'an should be a lifelong pursuit.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, beyond personal piety, Sunan al Tirmidhi also showcases how the Qur'an guides us on social issues. So Hadith 3179 and 3180
Okay.
address the issue of accusing chaste women
Right.
without proper evidence. And they use the story of Hilal bin Umayyah
Mm-hmm.
as a cautionary tale.
A powerful reminder
Yeah,
about the weight of our words.
right.
Seek evidence before making accusations.
Yeah, it's about making sure justice prevails.
And this concern for justice extends to the treatment of orphans,
Right.
and the commentary for Hadith 3018
Okay.
emphasizes the importance of treating them fairly.
Yeah, it's a reminder that responsibility extends beyond ourselves and our families.
And this commitment to social responsibility is beautifully exemplified in the commentary for Hadith 3075, which highlights the importance of freeing slaves as an act of righteousness.
It's a powerful message that transcends time.
It's about recognizing that inherent worth and dignity of every human being.
Yeah, and while those hadiths address social justice on a broader scale, I was also struck by how Sunan al Tirmidhi offers guidance on handling these personal challenges. Hadith 25857, for example,
Okay.
provides practical advice on preventing accidents in our homes.
Uh-huh.
And it emphasizes these mundane things like, covering vessels and tying water skins,
Interesting.
and closing doors and extinguishing torches to prevent fires.
I think it's interesting how these mundane actions are framed in a spiritual context.
Right. It's about taking responsibility.
Right.
And it's mindful of potential dangers.
And that Islam cares about every aspect of our lives.
Even the small things.
Even the small things.
And this guidance extends to navigating our relationships with family, which is such a central aspect of Islamic life.
Yes.
And Hadith 2828, for instance, shares an anecdote
Okay.
about Ali, the Prophet's cousin and son-in-law,
Right.
noting that he never heard the Prophet invoking blessings upon both parents of anyone except Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas.
It's an interesting hadith because it doesn't state the reason for the exception, but it invites us to reflect on the importance of honoring our parents.
Yeah.
And recognizing their role in our lives.
It's like a subtle reminder to seek their prayers and goodwill.
And this emphasis on respect extends to choosing appropriate names for our children.
Right.
So Hadith 835 reveals that the Prophet forbade naming children with certain names, such as Rafi, Baraka, and Yasar.
That's interesting. Why those prohibitions?
Well, it points to the significance of choosing names that carry positive meanings and reflect Islamic values.
Yeah.
And names are more than just labels, they shape our identities.
Yeah, it's not just about avoiding the negative,
Right.
but actively choosing those that embody positive qualities.
Exactly.
And this sensitivity surrounding names is highlighted even more in Hadith 2841, which shares another interesting prohibition.
Okay.
The Prophet forbade using both his name and his kunya,
Right.
which is a nickname or a title of respect together. So he prohibited people from naming themselves Muhammad Abul Qasim.
So it highlights the unique status of the Prophet
Right.
and the importance of showing him proper respect.
It's a subtle distinction that kind of emphasizes that reverence.
Precisely.
And speaking of names, I was particularly drawn to Hadith 2834, which reveals that the names most beloved to Allah are Abdullah and Abdul Rahman.
These names, meaning servant of Allah and servant of the most merciful, beautifully encapsulate the core principle of submission to the divine in Islam.
It's like those names carry a special blessing, reminding us of our ultimate purpose.
Absolutely.
To worship and serve Allah.
And this reminder is echoed throughout Sunan al Tirmidhi as we delve deeper into its teachings. This idea of seeking Allah's blessings and protection, it makes me think about the guidance offered in Hadith 2859, which advises believers to recite Surah Al-Ikhlas, Surah Al-Falaq, and Surah An-Nas for protection when traveling or facing fear. And it's just a beautiful reminder that we can always turn to the words of the Qur'an for solace and refuge, a sense of security.
Yeah, like having a spiritual shield.
Exactly. And it reminds us that our connection with Allah is our ultimate source of strength and comfort.
Speaking of strength and resilience,
Yeah.
Hadith 3250
Okay.
offers a powerful message of hope, assuring us that those who sincerely declare their belief in Allah and remain steadfast in their faith will be among the triumphant.
It's a beautiful message of hope and encouragement. It reminds us that the path of faith is not always easy, but that perseverance and unwavering trust in Allah will ultimately lead us to victory.
Yeah, it's about keeping that long-term perspective, trusting that Allah has a plan for us.
Now, Sunan al Tirmidhi also delves into the importance of seeking knowledge and understanding.
Okay.
I find Hadith 2860 particularly intriguing. It shares a parable about the prophet having a vision
Okay.
of the angels Gabriel and Michael.
Right.
And they tell him a story about a king conquering a land
Yep.
and building a palace.
What's the deeper meaning behind this?
Well, it illustrates the relationship between the prophet and his ummah, his
Right.
community of followers.
Right.
So the prophet, like the king,
Mm-hmm.
is entrusted with establishing the foundations of a new order, a new way of life based on the teachings of Islam.
Great.
And his followers, like the people in the king's kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
They're tasked with contributing to the growth and prosperity of this new community.
It's about that collective effort
Right.
of building a thriving Islamic society.
And this sense of collective responsibility is beautifully captured in Hadith 2861,
Okay.
which compares the Muslim community to a single body. So just as when one part of the body suffers, the entire body feels the pain,
Yeah.
so too should we feel the joys and sorrows of our fellow Muslims.
It's a powerful metaphor.
Yeah.
It really highlights that interconnectedness.
Right.
It's a call to empathy and compassion.
We're all part of something bigger than ourselves.
Now, while this emphasizes the collective nature of the Muslim community,
Mm-hmm.
I also appreciate how Sunan al Tirmidhi acknowledges those individual struggles that we all face.
Mm-hmm.
Hadith 282, for example,
Okay.
compares the believer to a lone tree
Okay.
standing firm against strong winds.
It's a powerful image of resilience.
Yeah.
Just as the tree withstands the storms, we too are called upon to remain steadfast in our faith.
We're not alone.
And this trust in Allah's support is beautifully illustrated in Hadith 2863,
Okay.
which compares the believer to a traveler seeking shelter from the rain.
Okay.
So just as the traveler finds refuge under a tree,
Right.
so too can we find solace and protection in Allah's mercy.
Yeah, it's comforting knowing we can always turn to Allah.
Now, while Sunan al Tirmidhi encourages us to seek Allah's protection,
Yeah.
it also emphasizes the importance of taking responsibility for our own actions.
Right.
And Hadith 2864 offers a powerful analogy. It compares the actions of a believer to seeds sown in fertile ground,
Okay.
while the actions of a hypocrite are likened to seeds sown on barren land.
That's a striking comparison.
Right.
It highlights the impact of our choices.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that our efforts matter,
Yeah.
that we are responsible for cultivating our own spiritual growth.
This focus on individual responsibility is further emphasized
Okay.
in Hadith 2865, which compares the believer to a date palm.
Inspiring image. It highlights the potential within each believer to produce good deeds. Just as the date palm yields sweet and nourishing fruit,
Right.
so too can we cultivate a life filled with
Yeah.
righteousness and benefit others through our actions.
And even amidst challenges and setbacks, we can still bear fruit.
Now, while Sunan al Tirmidhi emphasizes the importance of good deeds, it also acknowledges that we're human, we
Right.
make mistakes. Hadith 2866 offers an analogy. It compares the sins of a believer to flies that land on a person's clothes,
Okay.
easily brushed away,
Okay.
while the sins of a hypocrite are likened to stains that deeply penetrate the fabric.
Right.
Very difficult to remove.
That's such a vivid image.
Yeah.
What's the takeaway?
Well, it highlights the transformative power of repentance,
Right.
reminding us that even major sins can be forgiven.
Yeah, it's about not letting our mistakes paralyze us.
Precisely. And this theme of repentance is beautifully illustrated in Hadith 3010.
Okay.
It tells the story of a man who approaches the prophet
Right.
after committing a sin. And the prophet initially remains silent,
Okay.
but when the man persists in seeking guidance,
Right.
Allah reveals verses from the Qur'an emphasizing forgiveness.
Yeah, it's a powerful story. You know, no matter what we've done,
Yeah.
it's never too late to turn back to Allah.
Exactly. A call to never despair of Allah's mercy,
Right.
to always seek his forgiveness.
Now, beyond individual actions, Sunan al Tirmidhi also provides guidance on navigating these social interactions,
Okay.
particularly in matters of trade and finance. And Hadith 2011, for example, warns against withholding zakah,
Right.
which is the obligatory charity in Islam.
And what's fascinating about this hadith is the imagery that it uses.
Yeah,
It compares those who refuse to pay zakah
right.
to people whose wealth will transform into snakes that will wrap around their necks on the day of judgment.
That's scary.
It is a powerful visual representation
Right.
of the burden and the torment.
Right. Our wealth isn't truly ours.
Right.
It's a trust from Allah.
Exactly. And it's about using our resources
Yeah.
to benefit others and contribute to society.
And while Hadith 3011 emphasizes the importance of fulfilling those financial obligations,
Right.
Hadith 312 shifts our perspective
Okay.
from these worldly pursuits to the eternal bliss of paradise.
Okay.
And it states that even a small space in paradise is more valuable than the entire world and all its possessions.
It's a powerful statement.
Yeah.
It reminds us to prioritize our actions based on their impact on our afterlife.
It's about recognizing that this world is temporary.
Right.
Our ultimate goal should be paradise.
And this focus on the hereafter is emphasized even more in Hadith 3013, which encourages us to strive for the rewards of paradise, comparing them to the immense space occupied by a whip.
It urges us to really contemplate the vastness of Allah's blessings.
Absolutely.
Our efforts in this life have eternal consequences.
Now, while Sunan al Tirmidhi encourages us to seek the rewards of the hereafter, it also provides us with guidance on navigating worldly matters, particularly inheritance laws. So Hadith 3015, for instance, clarifies the distribution of inheritance for those who die without children, ensuring that their wealth is distributed fairly among their surviving relatives.
It highlights the importance of justice in Islamic inheritance laws.
Exactly. A reminder that Islam provides a comprehensive system for managing our affairs.
And this concern for justice extends to all aspects of social life. Hadith 3017, for example, emphasizes the prohibition of false oaths, specifically those made to seize another person's property unjustly.
Underscores the gravity of lying, especially when it comes to harming others financially.
Yeah, our words have consequences.
And this emphasis on truthful speech extends to all aspects of communication. So Hadith 3018, for example, discourages interrupting others while they're speaking, stresses the importance of listening attentively. It promotes respectful, considerate communication. It's about creating a space for open and honest dialogue.
And this respect for others extends to how we address them. Hadith 3019 emphasizes the importance of using respectful language when addressing people, especially those in positions of authority.
It's a reminder to approach others with humility. Treat them with dignity.
And this principle of respect extends to even our enemies. Hadith 3020, for example, prohibits mutilating the bodies of those killed in battle.
It highlights the Islamic emphasis on treating even our adversaries with a degree of respect. Even in the heat of battle.
It's about maintaining our humanity.
Indeed. And this concern for human dignity extends to all aspects of life. Hadith 3021, for example, condemns backbiting and compares it to consuming the flesh of a dead brother.
That's powerful.
It emphasizes the destructiveness of backbiting.
Guard our tongues.
Absolutely. And this focus on ethical speech is further emphasized in Hadith 3022, which condemns tale-bearing, spreading rumors.
It underscores that importance of responsible speech.
Be mindful of the consequences of our words.
And this commitment to social harmony extends to how we handle disagreements. Hadith 3023, for example, discourages arguing even when we believe we're right.
It's about cultivating that spirit of humility, recognizing that our goal should be to seek truth and reconciliation.
And this willingness to compromise is further emphasized in Hadith 3024, which encourages us to overlook the faults of others and focus on their positive qualities.
It's about promoting a spirit of forgiveness, understanding, being patient with others.
Everyone has strengths and weaknesses.
Absolutely. And this focus on positive relationships extends to our families. Hadith 3025, for instance, stresses the importance of treating our wives kindly, fulfilling their rights.
Highlights the importance of marital harmony and fulfilling our responsibility.
Treat our wives with respect, love, and compassion.
And this concern for familial well-being extends to our children as well. Hadith 3026, for example, encourages fathers to spend time with their children and show them affection.
Underscores the importance of nurturing
Right.
those bonds with our children,
Mm.
providing them with a loving and supportive environment.
Being present in their lives,
Mm-hmm.
creating memories.
And our extended family as well.
Right.
Hadith 30:27, for example,
Mm.
encourages us to maintain ties with our relatives, even if they've wronged us.
Family unity,
Mm-hmm.
forgiveness.
Exactly.
And this commitment to familial harmony
Mm.
extends to resolving disputes within the family.
Uh-huh.
So Hadith 30:28, for example,
Right.
encourages us to mediate conflicts between family members
Right.
and seek reconciliation.
It's about recognizing that disagreements are inevitable,
Yeah.
but that we should strive to resolve them peacefully.
Right. Family is a precious gift.
Absolutely. And this concern for social harmony extends to the broader community.
Right.
Hadith 30:29, for example,
Okay.
encourages us to be kind to our neighbors,
Mm-hmm.
assist them in times of need.
Yeah, that community spirit,
Right.
looking out for one another.
Exactly. We're all part of a larger social fabric,
Mm-hmm.
and our actions impact those around us.
And this generosity
Yeah.
extends to those in need,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of their background or their beliefs.
Uh-huh.
Hadith 30:30, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
encourages us to give charity to the poor and needy,
Right.
even if they're not Muslim.
It highlights the universality of Islamic values.
Compassion and generosity.
Exactly.
And this concern for social justice
Mm-hmm.
extends to speaking out against injustice and oppression.
Right.
So Hadith 30:31, for example,
Okay.
encourages us to stand up for the rights of those who are being wronged.
It highlights the courage and moral conviction
Mhm.
required to be a true believer.
Be voices for the voiceless.
And this commitment to righteousness
Right.
extends to all aspects of our lives.
Right.
Hadith 30:32, for example,
Okay.
encourages us to be honest in our dealings,
Hmm.
even when it's difficult or inconvenient.
Right. Integrity.
Exactly.
Now, beyond matters of individual conduct and
Mhm.
social interactions, Sunan al Tirmidhi also offers guidance on these spiritual practices,
Right.
particularly in matters of prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Hadith 30:33, for example,
Okay.
emphasizes the importance of performing wudu,
Right.
the ritual ablution before prayer,
Uh-huh.
thoroughly
Right.
and with sincerity.
Highlights the importance of purifying ourselves,
Yeah.
both physically and spiritually.
It's a symbolic cleansing.
And this reverence for prayer
Mhm.
is further emphasized in Hadith 30:34,
Okay.
which encourages us to choose clean and appropriate clothing for prayer.
It's a reminder to present ourselves
Right.
in a manner befitting that communication with the divine.
And this concern for proper attire extends beyond prayer
Right.
to our everyday lives.
Right.
So Hadith 30:35, for example,
Okay.
encourages us to dress modestly
Right.
and to avoid clothing that might attract undue attention or be considered provocative.
Yeah.
It highlights the Islamic emphasis on modesty and decorum in
Mhm.
dress.
It reflects our inner values.
Exactly.
And this modesty extends to our behavior as well.
Mhm.
Hadith 30:36
Okay.
discourages excessive laughter
Okay.
and loud speech.
So it's a reminder to be mindful of our actions,
Mm-hmm.
avoid behaviors that might be disrespectful,
Right.
disruptive to others.
Like behavior reflects our values.
Indeed. And this concern for respectful behavior extends to how we interact with others.
Okay.
Hadith 30:37, for example,
Uh-huh.
encourages us to avoid staring at people, especially those of the opposite gender,
Right.
and to lower our gaze as a sign of respect.
Modesty and respect
Right.
in our interactions.
Right. And this concern for the comfort of others extends to our physical interactions. So Hadith 30:38, for instance,
Yeah.
discourages men from crowding women in public spaces
Right.
and stresses the importance of giving them adequate space.
It promotes a sense of respect and consideration.
Exactly.
It's about creating an environment where everyone feels safe,
Mhm.
regardless of gender.
And this commitment to protecting women's safety and dignity
Right.
extends to how we address them.
Mm.
Hadith 30:39, for example,
Okay.
encourages men to avoid using suggestive language
Right.
or making inappropriate comments when speaking to women.
It emphasizes the importance of treating women with respect.
Precisely. And this principle of respect extends to how we treat all members of society, regardless of their gender or social status or beliefs.
Right.
Hadith 30:40, for example,
Right.
encourages us to be kind to the elderly,
Mhm.
offer them assistance.
Right. Honoring and respecting our elders. Recognizing their wisdom.
And this respect for the elderly extends to how we address them.
Right.
So Hadith 30:41, for instance,
Okay.
encourages us to speak to them politely use respectful language.
Yeah, recognizing their position in society.
And this concern for respectful interactions
Yeah.
extends to how we treat children as well.
Okay.
So Hadith 3042
Right.
discourages us from hitting or scolding children harshly,
Right.
stresses the importance of using gentle and encouraging methods of discipline.
Yeah, it highlights that emphasis on nurturing and protecting children,
Absolutely.
creating a loving and supportive environment.
Recognizing that children are a trust from Allah.
Right.
We have a responsibility to raise them with love and kindness
Yeah.
and wisdom.
And this concern for the well-being of children extends to providing for their education
Right.
and spiritual guidance. Hadith 343 encourages parents to teach their children about Islam.
It emphasizes the importance of raising children with strong morals and a deep understanding of their faith.
Right.
It's about nurturing their hearts and minds, guiding them towards righteousness.
And it really highlights that we have a profound impact on our children's development.
And this commitment to nurturing children's faith extends to creating a positive and supportive environment for them.
Right.
So Hadith 3044, for example,
Okay.
encourages parents to make their homes places of peace and tranquility.
Yeah, nurturing and harmonious home environment.
Exactly. The home is the foundation of a child's development.
And this focus on a peaceful home environment extends to resolving conflicts between spouses
Right.
in a manner that doesn't upset or frighten children.
Yeah.
So Hadith 3045
Okay.
discourages parents from arguing in front of their children.
It emphasizes the importance of shielding children from negativity. Right. Creating a sense of security and stability in the home.
Our behavior has a profound impact on our children.
And this concern for children's emotional well-being extends to protecting them from harmful influences.
Right.
Hadith 3046 encourages parents to be mindful of the company their children keep.
Okay.
Steer them away from negative peer groups.
Highlights the importance of providing those positive role models.
Exactly. It's about understanding that our children's social environment plays a crucial role in shaping their character and development, and to take proactive steps to make sure they're surrounded by positive influences.
And this commitment to nurturing children's character extends to encouraging them to develop positive habits. So Hadith 3047 encourages parents to instill in their children a love for reading and learning.
It emphasizes the importance of fostering a love for knowledge, intellectual curiosity in children.
It's about recognizing that transformative power of knowledge and instilling that thirst for learning.
Absolutely. And this extends to both religious and worldly knowledge. Hadith 3048, for example, encourages parents to teach their children about both Islamic teachings and practical skills that will equip them for life.
It's about providing a well-rounded education.
Exactly.
It's about preparing them for their responsibilities.
Ensuring that our children are well prepared for the challenges and opportunities of life.
Now, this concern for children's well-being extends to protecting them from harm. Hadith 3049 warns parents against leaving their children unsupervised in dangerous situations.
Right. It emphasizes the responsibility parents have to safeguard their well-being and protect them from potential dangers.
Be vigilant.
And this commitment to protecting children extends to making sure their needs are met. Hadith 3050, for example, encourages parents to provide their children with nutritious food, adequate clothing, a loving and supportive environment.
It highlights their basic needs and the responsibility that we have as parents.
It's about creating that nurturing and supportive environment where they feel loved and valued and secure.
And this concern for children's well-being extends to their spiritual and moral development. So Hadith 3051, for instance, encourages parents to teach their children about honesty and kindness.
It emphasizes the importance of instilling those strong moral values. It's about shaping their character, guiding them towards righteousness, helping them develop into individuals who embody the values of Islam.
Our children's moral compass is shaped by the values we instill in them.
Absolutely.
It's fascinating how these hadiths emphasize the holistic nature of Islamic education. It encompasses both the intellectual and the moral.
Shaping well-rounded individuals who are equipped to contribute positively to society.
And this concern for social well-being extends beyond our families and communities to the broader world.
Right.
Hadith 3052
Okay.
encourages us to strive for peace and justice.
It highlights the universal values of Islam,
Right.
emphasizing peace, justice, and compassion
Right.
as principles that should guide our interactions.
Yeah, it's a reminder that our actions have ripple effects.
Absolutely. We're all part of the human family.
And this commitment to justice
Right.
extends to how we treat animals. Hadith 3053
Okay.
forbids cruelty to animals
Right.
and emphasizes the importance of treating them with kindness and mercy.
It reflects the Islamic principle of extending compassion
Right.
to all of Allah's creation.
It's a reminder that our responsibility to Allah's creation extends beyond just our fellow human beings.
Now, shifting gears a bit.
Go.
Sunan al Tirmidhi also delves into the importance of seeking knowledge and understanding, particularly when it comes to interpreting the Qur'an.
Okay.
So the commentary for Hadith 3054, for example, cautions against interpreting the Qur'an based solely on our own opinions or limited understanding,
Right.
and emphasizes the need to rely on the guidance of scholars
Yeah.
and authentic traditions.
It's so crucial because, I mean, misinterpretations can really lead to a distorted understanding of Islam.
We need that expert guidance.
Yeah.
And it's a reminder to approach the Qur'an with humility
Right.
and seek guidance from those who have dedicated their lives
Right.
to studying its teachings.
Yeah, it's about recognizing that depth and complexity of the Qur'an. We need expert guidance.
And this respect for scholarly authority extends to other areas of Islamic knowledge. So Hadith 3055, for example, cautions against issuing religious rulings without proper knowledge and training.
Yeah, that's important because incorrect rulings can have serious consequences.
Absolutely. And it's a reminder to recognize the limits of our own knowledge and to defer to those who have the expertise.
It's about knowing when to say I don't know.
Exactly.
And when to seek guidance.
And this humility in seeking knowledge extends to being open to different interpretations and perspectives. So Hadith 35:6, for example, encourages respectful dialogue and debate among scholars, recognizing that there can be multiple valid interpretations of Islamic teachings.
I think that's a really beautiful aspect of the Islamic tradition, you know, recognizing that knowledge is a journey and that we can all learn and grow through those dialogues.
It's a reminder that the pursuit of knowledge should be a collaborative effort.
Absolutely. Now, beyond seeking knowledge from scholars and engaging in that intellectual discourse, Sunan al Tirmidhi also emphasizes the importance of seeking guidance directly from Allah through prayer. Hadith 3007 highlights the power of the istikhara prayer. A special prayer performed when seeking guidance on an important decision.
Powerful practice. It's recognizing that our human intellect and understanding are limited. We can benefit from seeking Allah's wisdom.
It's that surrender. Trusting that He will guide us.
And this trust in Allah's plan extends to accepting the trials and tribulations that come our way. So Hadith 3058 reminds us that difficulties are a part of life. We should respond to them with patience and perseverance, recognizing that Allah tests those He loves.
It's a powerful reminder that challenges aren't meant to break us, but to strengthen our faith.
There's wisdom and purpose behind our struggles.
And those challenges are temporary. Our ultimate reward lies in the hereafter.
Now, this perspective can really transform our approach to difficulties. Hadith 3359, for instance, encourages us to view calamities as a means of expiating our sins, recognizing that Allah may use hardship to cleanse us from wrongdoing.
Even in our darkest moments, there's hope.
It's about shifting our perspective, recognizing that challenges can be opportunities for growth.
And this trust in Allah's mercy extends to believing in His power to heal us, both physically and emotionally. Hadith 3060 encourages seeking medical treatment while also emphasizing the importance of supplicating to Allah for healing.
Highlights that balance between seeking those worldly means and trusting in Allah's power.
It's recognizing that our efforts and Allah's mercy work together.
Shifting gears a bit,
Okay.
Sunan al Tirmidhi also talks about the sensitive topic of death and the afterlife.
Right.
Hadith 3061, for example,
Yeah.
describes the process of burying the deceased,
Right.
emphasizing the importance of treating the body with respect
Right.
and dignity.
It highlights that Islamic respect for human life, even after death.
Death is not the end,
Right.
but a transition.
And this respect for the deceased extends to offering condolences to the bereaved family.
Right.
Hadith 3062
Okay.
encourages visiting the family
Right.
and offering words of comfort and support.
Emphasizes the importance of community support during times of loss, sharing the burden of grief,
Right.
reminding them they're not alone.
Now, beyond the practical aspects of death and burial, Sunan al Tirmidhi addresses that spiritual dimension of the afterlife.
Right.
Hadith 3063, for example,
Okay.
reminds us that our deeds in this life determine our fate in the hereafter.
A sobering reminder
Yeah.
that our actions have eternal consequences.
It's a call to live a life of purpose.
This life is a test,
Right.
and our actions will be judged accordingly.
And this preparation for the hereafter involves reflecting on our mortality.
Uh-huh.
Hadith 3064
Okay.
encourages us to visit graveyards.
Okay.
Contemplate the fleeting nature of this life.
Yeah.
Recognizing that we too will one day face our Creator.
It's about gaining perspective.
Right.
Recognizing the transient nature of this life.
Yeah, it's a powerful reminder to make the most of our time.
And while contemplating death might seem daunting,
Yeah.
Sunan al Tirmidhi also offers us hope,
Right.
reassurance. Hadith 365, for example,
Oh, yeah.
describes the mercy and forgiveness that awaits those who repent,
Yeah.
reminding us that his compassion is greater than our sins.
It's a beautiful message of hope.
Uh-huh.
It's a call to never despair of Allah's mercy.
Indeed. And this relationship with Allah is nurtured through acts of worship and devotion, like prayer and fasting.
Right.
Hadith 3066
Okay.
emphasizes the importance of performing those 5 daily prayers.
It's a reminder that prayer is vital. It sustains our connection with the divine.
Establishing that rhythm of connection.
Right. 5 times a day.
5 times a day.
And this connection
Yeah.
is further strengthened through fasting.
Mm-hmm.
Hadith 3067
Okay.
highlights those spiritual benefits of fasting.
Fasting is not just about abstaining from food and drink. It's about purifying our hearts and minds.
Detaching from those worldly attachments and
Right.
focusing on Allah.
Now, beyond the individual benefits of prayer and fasting,
Right.
Sunan al Tirmidhi also emphasizes the importance of acts of worship collectively.
Okay.
Hadith 3068, for example, highlights the virtues of praying in congregation,
Yeah.
a means of earning greater rewards.
Yeah, there's something special about gathering together
Absolutely.
in unity, shoulder to shoulder.
It's a powerful reminder that
right.
we are part of a larger community.
And this unity is strengthened through those acts of charity and kindness. Hadith 3069
Okay.
encourages us to help those in need,
Right.
regardless of their background.
Yeah. It's a reminder that our wealth and resources are a trust from Allah
Yeah.
and that we are accountable for how we use them.
Our true wealth lies in how we use our resources to help others.
And this compassion should extend to all living beings.
Right.
Hadith 3070 encourages kindness to animals, reminding us that they too
Yeah.
are part of Allah's creation, deserving of our care.
We share this world. We have a responsibility.
Indeed. And this respect for life extends to protecting the environment.
Right.
Hadith 3071, for example,
Okay.
discourages wasteful practices,
Right.
encourages us to be mindful of our consumption, recognizing that we are entrusted with preserving the balance of nature.
It's about understanding that our actions have consequences.
And this stewardship extends to how we use our time and our resources.
Okay.
Hadith 3072 discourages laziness and idleness,
Right.
encourages us to be productive members of society.
Yeah, we have those gifts and talents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this excellence should be reflected in our character.
Right.
Hadith 3073, for example, encourages us to cultivate good manners,
Okay.
recognizing that they reflect our inner values.
Yeah.
They promote harmonious social interactions.
Right. Treating others with respect, kindness, consideration.
And this embodiment of Islamic values
Hmm.
extends to how we handle disagreements.
Okay.
So Hadith 3074, for example,
Well,
encourages us to be patient and forgiving,
mm,
recognizing that holding on to anger and resentment
yeah,
only harms ourselves.
right. Let go of those grudges.
Exactly.
And this forgiveness
Mm-mm.
should be extended to ourselves as well.
Right.
Hadith 3080
Okay.
encourages us to avoid dwelling on past mistakes.
It's about recognizing that we are all human
Right.
and we make mistakes,
Yeah.
but we can learn from them.
Be kind to ourselves.
Exactly. A reminder that our past does not define us.
And so, as we conclude our deep dive into the virtues of the Qur'an, as guided by the wisdom of Sunan al Tirmidhi, Volume 5, I hope that you're leaving with a renewed sense of inspiration
Yeah.
and a deeper understanding of how the Qur'an illuminates our path, not just in matters of faith, but in all aspects of our lives.
I hope this exploration has encouraged you to connect more deeply with the Qur'an and reflect on how its teachings can guide you towards a more meaningful and fulfilling life.
Thank you for joining us on this journey, and until next time, may peace be upon you.